Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Filmocity podcast. I'm Freddie.
I'm Anna.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jeff. I'm Shaden.
Please leave.
And today we are talking about the 2015 film Swiss Army Man, starring Daniel Radcliffe, who you will most likely know from Harry Potter.
What?
And
He was in Harry Potter.
I was about to say, I'm so close to hitting you. I'm glad you're sitting on the opposite side of the table. But you're right next to me, so... And yes. Paul Dano. The beautiful, beautiful
Is it
Paul
Dano or Dano?
Dano.
Dano.
Paul Dano.
I know, everyone says Paul Dano.
Yeah, who's been in stuff like Little Miss Sunshine, There Will Be Blood,
Looper.
Prisoners, Looper.
12 Years a Slave.
And he's about to be the Riddler in Batman.
Yes,
I'm
he
excited.
is. That's gonna be really cool. So this film, I don't really even know how you sort of explain it, because it's one of those you sort of have to see it.
Tell them what they
The guy's
pitched
about
it.
to kill himself, he finds a dead man and they go on an adventure together.
Pretty much. Paul Dano is stranded on an island and a dead body washes ashore, which is Daniel Radcliffe, and they go on adventures together.
Woo.
Pretty much. And
You really didn't have to explain it to me at the start of the movie. It was pretty straightforward when
It's
we
an
watched
acid
it.
trip.
yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty much,
yeah.
And the directors, when they pitched this film, they said that they wanted to make a film about a farting corpse, where the first fart makes you laugh and the last fart makes you cry.
And they did.
And they did, yeah. This is like one of the more...
My eyes are burning, that's why.
Yeah. This is like one of the more original... Like, I've never seen a film like this. I've seen films like sort of tackle the same subjects, but never in the way that this does.
Yeah, I made a short film about a guy falling in love with a dead corpse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it turns out she was just unconscious in the end. Yeah, I did that.
Spoiler.
I actually did that in 2014, a year before this came out.
Whoa.
So I think they stole the idea from me. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to.
I was going to say,
Now
did
we
you put it
know.
on YouTube?
Yeah,
They could take it and you have,
YouTube.com/CoreCorkins.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, so this film, it was directed by two guys named Daniel Scheinert and Dan Kwan.
So that... Okay, sorry. I just clicked it in my head. So at the start of the movie it says a film by Daniels.
Yeah.
And I just thought like maybe that's the company name. I was
I was gonna say
joking
that's
about that
weird.
there was multiple
Yeah.
Daniels.
So the directors are both named Daniel, and then we have Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe. So
They
it's
only
like
hired
a bunch of
People
Daniels.
with Dan in there.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the whole entire cast was called Daniel in some type of way.
Even Mary Elizabeth
Danny,
Winstead,
Danny.
her real name is Daniel.
Her nickname is Dano. Danny.
And this is their feature film debut. This is their first film. Before this, they've only done music videos, and I think their most famous one is the Turn Down for What? Is that what it's called?
Oh,
Turn Down for
really?
What?
I did
Yeah,
that.
they
They
did
did
that
that?
music video, yeah.
I could see bits of that coming
Yeah.
through in the fast-paced action sequences.
Yeah.
Like going down the hill and
Music
shit.
videos.
So do we want to go around the room and sort of talk about what we thought of the film?
Spoiler
This is the
free.
first time everyone here has seen, except for me. I've seen
Yeah.
this film plenty of times.
I'll
How old's
start.
all the
Yeah.
aces?
Yeah, I went into this movie, like most of the movies we watched, not knowing anything about it. I just went in completely blank. The opening sequence was really awesome. It was very hard-hitting. I thought it was going to be quite a deep, sad movie. I didn't know this was actually meant to be a comedy, because the opening sequences, there's all these...
Spoilers.
there's things floating around saying "I want to die, help
Yeah.
me," shit like that. And I thought, oh, this is quite dark. And then this guy is on the fucking beach about to neck himself, and then he sees a dead body, and then the dead body starts farting. I'm like, okay, is this meant to be a comedy? And then the rest of the movie just unfolds like that.
You know what happens? After you die, that's the first thing that happens.
Yeah. I just thought that was the natural thing that's
Yeah,
happening to
yeah.
him, but then it kept happening,
Yeah.
and he was like, flailing around like a fucking fish.
Yeah.
And
Two,
then
out
it
of,
became a jet ski. So
2 out of 10, not enough shit. Just a lot of farts.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, oh man, it was very enjoyable. It was very entertaining. Oh, so many cool visuals, like all the stuff that the two made together. I love Daniel Radcliffe's American accent. He's so like pure, and he almost like sounds innocent when he talks. It was really awesome.
Sure. So, I'd seen an interview with Daniel Radcliffe where he talked about the directors, and he had conversations with them, and apparently both the directors had been like, we hate films that just go for the dumb sort of fart humor. That's not our style. So they were like, but we're gonna make this film, because we don't usually like films like this. It means we're gonna have to put in like all the work to make this a film that we like with these elements.
Yeah.
And I'm usually that way, so I think there's like a Will Ferrell movie there where there's like farts and vomit and screaming and stuff like all the time. That's not something I enjoy watching very much. And I think Daniel Radcliffe really has turned into, or is starting to turn into like a great actor, because like he's good in the Harry Potter films, but like he was a kid, you know.
What was that movie he did?
One.
That one he did between, it would have been before 2015, but after all the Harry Potter.
December Boys, My Boy Jack.
I can't remember, but he had
Woman
that.
in Black.
He had like the same kind of thing as Robert Pattinson when he started doing a bunch of
sort of indies,
indie films.
Yeah, he's sort of talked about that. He's like, I don't need to work for money, so I can just take projects that I think would be fun. Kill Your Darlings might be
Was that
one.
movie that was like, it was meant to be like the GTA movie? Remember that?
GCA?
GTA, like the game?
Oh yeah.
And he's got the gun and the dressing gun.
they came out.
poster.
Are you
This
talking about
year.
Guns Akimbo that came out
Yeah.
this year?
Yeah, I didn't see that. But
Wasn't it filmed in New Zealand?
Yeah, it was filmed in
Yeah.
Auckland. Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay.
was it?
It's pretty
Didn't
good.
you just say it came out?
no, I know, I heard about it, like, him making something like that back in like
Oh.
2014 or something.
Guns
Yeah.
Akimbo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it
pretty
was-
fun.
It was alright. I watched the first half of it while I was cleaning one of the cinemas
Oh, yeah.
just before we went into lockdown because no one was there, and I just went in and was like, I'm gonna watch the movie.
Like,
Yeah.
can you just go play the
Slowly
movie?
wipe down. No, it was scheduled on, but there was no one in the cinema,
Oh.
and there was like 2 customers, and there was like 4 of us on, and I was like, I'm just gonna go and sanitize the cinema, and I fully cleaned the cinema. I did very well.
But you were just like over your
But I
shoulder
was
the whole
also
time.
just like slowly watching the movie at the same time, so
Yeah.
I didn't have to
in
go back
Dolby
outside.
high definition.
No, yeah, I think that he's really turning into like a really terrific actor and a very good comedy actor, because everything he does in this film, he has to do with like completely deadpan and with like as few facial expressions and body movements as possible. And I think his performance is really good.
I don't know. He did a really good job of
Yeah.
just staying still.
Yeah,
I thought his mouth might have been CGI'd at times, or his face was
I'm
like.
guessing his head probably was for some of it, because
Yeah.
there was a lot of it. Like,
Yeah,
the next-
maybe they just CGI'd his face or masked his face onto the dead
Yeah,
puppet they
maybe.
used.
Because we did see the puppet, which they
yeah.
showed on the Graham Norton show episode,
Yeah.
and that was really funny. Just lifeless, fucking flopping around.
Yeah, but I love the themes in this film and like how it talks, because basically Daniel Radcliffe's corpse is coming back to life, and Paul Dano has to teach him about being human and what it means to be human and society and like all the restrictions we put on ourselves to fit in and stuff.
Yeah.
And I really like how this film sort of like talks about all the sort of shame that we feel, and like when you feel weird or and all that, and how we sort of have like suppressed that to fit in society. And I think Daniel Radcliffe's character at some point says like, why would you want to go back to the world? It sounds awful. You're not allowed to do anything.
The film raises a lot of questions. The things that Hank's talking about society and how we have to change so we fit in and not do certain things like holding in your farts and stuff like that just because people will look at you funny. It's so true, and it really does like make you think about society and how we act and treat other people.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool how a film about a farting corpse can really like make you think about stuff like that. I think.
Yeah.
So this is why, like, when I've recommended this film to people, I always tell them like, if you get through the first 15 minutes, you're in for like a really good movie. So
Yeah.
if you don't like that sort of how weird it's like it's in the beginning.
You gotta really get into it first, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was a bit uncertain at the start when I was just I was so confused because I didn't look up and see what it was about.
Yeah.
I was so lost. But then I was like, okay. And jet ski happened. I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in for the ride. Let's go.
Yeah, and the film is just like it looks beautiful. A lot of like pretty much the whole soundtrack is just Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe like singing.
Like acapellas, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really cute.
Yeah.
I like the song about popcorn.
Yeah, there's and it's like they're basically singing about like what they're doing. So there's like this one song that I listen to all the time called Montage, and the lyrics is basically like, now I'm using your body as a machine gun, are we falling in love? All we needed was a montage, it was all we needed, sort of thing. It's
I'm sitting
such
on a rock.
Yeah.
It was really good. I was really surprised by it because like I'd heard all these things about it, and I always saw it at like the DVD shop.
Mhm.
I'd be like, damn, I do need to watch that because I loved it.
Daniel.
Jacob has moved away from me because I'm about to hit him. Come back.
Jacob bringing 2014 back.
Yeah.
Damn, Daniel.
Jesus.
Out of the gang with the white bags.
Can I?
What are those?
Stassi, man. Damn, Daniel.
Shaden, what happened to you not talking through this episode?
Sorry, I just wanted to say damn, Daniel.
I mean, obviously, I grew up watching Harry Potter. I was a big fan of Daniel Radcliffe, and to see him do something that wasn't Harry Potter, I was very excited. And I love Paul Dano. I have a little crush on him since seeing him in Little Miss Sunshine, because he was the classic, emo boy, and I was like, oh, that's everything I want in life. But it was really cool, and yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, and there's all these fucking fart jokes, and I was like, I feel like it's gonna make me numb to fart jokes now, because I'm actually just 5 years old and think it's funny. And it was really heartwarming in the end, and I was very concerned at some point that there was going to be some kind of switch, and we realized that, oh, maybe it is just a dead body, and is he fully hallucinating? Is he dead and he's just imagining this? And there's final moments while he's hanging there or something. But yeah, and I think obviously the end is left quite open for interpretation, even though they blatantly show you oh, he's gone off and done this thing, but you kind of sit there and you're like, did he though?
Yeah.
I thought the cinematography was stunning. I thought it was really, really cool.
I thought it was cool.
Well done.
That's all I've got to say.
That's all you have to say for your scene. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, and there was a lot of times where all of us, obviously Frederick had watched it before, and I heard you laugh a few times, but the three of us were cracking out laughing and so confused. Man. It was so funny. I'm really glad we watched it today. Actually, it was really cool, and I definitely recommend other people check it out if you haven't, or if you have seen it, just watch it again.
Watch it again.
It's fun.
Laugh at the big boners.
It's kind of it's kind of one of those films where you can definitely watch that film 100 times and be entertained. Yeah. And it's not too serious where you're like, damn, I don't think they should have put that in. It's not really something nice to say. Because there's a few times, they say the R word. Yeah. And Paul Dano's character would be like, you can't use that word, don't say that. And I was like, that's just a little nice thing to put in. I don't think this film should be as overlooked as I think people might.
Yeah.
It's quite low key. It's not like a big Hollywood blockbuster. It's quite underrated.
Budget was 3
million.
3 million.
Made 5 million.
Made 5.8 estimated.
Ooh.
Yeah, I looked at the IMDb.
Almost double.
I thought there's a lot of meaning to some of the shit talking and the banter that they had between the two characters, Hank and Manny.
It's a good first hit out from the two Dans. Yeah, it was alright. It was interesting. I typically don't enjoy comedy as much as straightforward drama. I feel like it's because the comedy distracts from the point. For me personally, I know that it can also help the point, but for me, it's usually not the case.
What did you see the point was?
Well, like Frederick said, it was the point about realizing that life's shit because you're telling someone else what life is about.
I don't think that's the point. That's the point. That life is shit.
I think the humor felt very natural.
It did feel natural, but it was distracting to me because it was like
it's not your sort of film.
Well, yeah. Every time I was trying to listen to what they said, there was a joke, and I couldn't help myself but laugh, and everyone else was laughing, so I couldn't actually hear what they were saying afterwards.
But then you had a good time at least.
It was a good time, but from my point of view, I prefer to listen to the story and actually figure it out rather than just laugh. But yeah, the jokes were funny. It was really well made in terms of that aspect. Unfortunately, the end was a bit dark in terms of the actual lighting, so I couldn't really see some of what was going on. When they were in the tree, I didn't realize he actually fell on was holding onto the branch.
Yeah, it took me a minute to realise that.
Yeah, there were some areas where it could have been improved on, but for the most part, it was heartfelt. It was pretty good. I think the best thing about it was Daniel Radcliffe's face the whole time. It was fucking amazing. And yeah, his performance was great. I really liked it.
Grinning smile, love it.
Yeah, he really stole the scene for me. It was fucking amazing. You can't keep your eyes off him. Every time he's on the screen, it's like you're just glued to him.
He's always doing something.
Even though he's not doing it. No, he's not really doing anything. But
he's always doing something.
He's doing something, but he's not doing anything, and it's amazing. Yeah. So it's good. I'd watch it if I were you.
It's an enjoyable film. So, do we want to break into our areas?
I can go first. Talking about acting, like we mentioned, Daniel Radcliffe is just he's such a. Because I've been watching, he's on this show called Miracle Workers. There's 2 seasons and it's like an anthology, so there's new storylines every season. And that's just a straight out comedy show. And he's so good at doing comedy, physical comedy, and his timing is insanely good. Daniel Radcliffe gives the scene stealing performance in this film, but I think that Paul Dano is his character is very different since he's obviously alive, and he becomes the mentor character to Manny, which is Daniel's character. And I think that he's just as good. It's just like a very different kind of performance. Because he's sort of like desperate and lonely, and you don't really know what's going on with him until sort of like the end of the film when everything sort of comes together. And I mean, then we have like Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in it and a few other actors, but they are just there. Like they're not really like characters.
I mean,
as a whole. Really.
we see a picture of
Yeah.
Mary at times, and then none of the other characters come until right there.
Right at the end, yeah. So from the two leads, I think the performances are outstanding.
Superb, eh?
Yeah.
This movie was only filmed in 22 days. Daniel Radcliffe has stated that this is his favourite film of his.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
This outdoes Harry Potter.
It was a lot of fun. It looks like it was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
They would have had some good times on set. From a cinematography, camera work perspective, the start of it started out really like cinematic. Those opening shots with the things in the water. Yeah, it was very, very aesthetic. The nice close-ups on the stuff in the water, nice, shallow focus and everything. And then when they get to the island, they have the wide shot of the island, and it was all centered.
Yeah.
Like that's some really good, alignment there. And then they come in on the island, and he's bang in the center, hanging himself. Like it's a dark image, but it was aesthetically pleasing to look at. They used a lot of jump cuts where the camera stays still and things move on screen. There's the montage when Hank was telling Manny about being a human, and he's like, this is how you smile, this is where you look, this is where your brain is.
Yeah.
And the camera's fixed, but things are constantly changing on screen, doing lots of jump cuts. It was really cool.
I like those.
Yeah, it was a neat wee montage.
I love the scenes, like how the scenes look when they are on the bus, when it's sort of like in their imagination.
Oh, with all the lights and stuff.
Yeah,
was like it was almost like a dream. They had like a real soft filter over it, a soft glow. Lots of light beaming through, made it all bright and dreamy like, which was really cool. Nice warm colours, bright sunshine. Oh, and the part when they were hanging from the big pipes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That wide shot, I didn't realise how high that was until they pulled out and did a wide shot. And you see how high they are. It's like, damn, that's quite high.
I mean, I didn't really. I think I was more distracted by like all the comedy that was happening on screen. I wasn't paying too much attention to the script, but I thought it was really well written from the stuff that I took away.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scenes like the montage when Hank is explaining life to Manny, and he's getting really deep about some stuff, but at the same time it's so like light and fluffy because
so
it's really like
innocent
sweet.
almost,
Yeah,
and pure.
It's
Of
so
Daniel's
sweet.
accent. He's like,
Oh my
but why do
God.
we have to do that? He's like a baby.
Yeah, I thought Daniel Radcliffe's accent was really good. I mean, maybe there's some American who's like, that doesn't sound like me, sort of thing, but...
He sounded like a different person.
Yeah.
He did not sound like, how some people put on an accent and they still sound like themselves.
Yeah. There was
He didn't
there was
sound like
only
himself.
one point, and I think it was when he was whispering or something, where I picked up a bit of like, oh, I can hear your Britishness coming through.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You're like, oh, I heard Brit.
But it was literally like one word, and it was only because I'd like, at that point in my brain, I was starting to look out for it. But at no point did I think he like really slipped up, and I, took away the immersion of it. I thought he did a really good accent. It was really really sweet. Sweet voice he had throughout it.
Yeah.
The little monologues that they had. There's a lot of fucking great quotes in this film, but the one that I really liked at the very end was Hank saying that he wasn't going to go and confront Mary's character because he says, I'm just a scared, ugly, useless person, and then Manny's response is, but maybe everyone's a little bit ugly. Maybe we're all just dying sacks of shit, and maybe it's all it takes is one person to just be okay with that. And then the whole world will be dancing and singing and farting, and everyone will feel a little bit less alone. And then Hank goes, Manny, you have no idea how nice that sounds. And I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
I really liked that scene.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
We love wholesome dialogue.
Another dialogue that we made a point with Shaden about is Hank saying, if you don't know Jurassic Park, you don't know shit. And there was a lot of...
Shaden can explain.
Which is my favourite movie, by the
Yeah,
way.
it is. But yeah, there's so many very sweet little, not even quotes, but just funny like one-liners that don't feel like one-liners. They feel like they're natural. I feel like both actors felt very in their elements when they were, discussing certain topics, whether they were talking about beers or about poop or trying to talk about getting home. I thought a lot of the the dialogue actually on the bus scene when he built a bus and they were trying to convince. It was almost like he was trying to convince himself to like talk to her using Manny and giving him that experience. I thought it definitely sounded like, trying to give your friend advice, but you could tell, he was trying to do it to himself at the same time. Yeah. I thought it was there was no part that I thought it was bad screenwriting at all. I don't imagine the script being super long.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a nice short script. Yeah, I know that we all had a few times where we were just cracking up laughing because they would say just the weirdest things. I really liked it. I don't know who wrote it.
I think the director wrote it.
Director? Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah. Being at their debut, they probably were like, "Oh, we need to make this special."
Yeah. I think it was done really well, and I think a lot of writer-directors stuff that I've seen has been pretty good. Like, obviously, the other week when we saw Savage, not you, Shaden, shut up. Sam Kelly's writing and directing was amazing, and I think that really like proves a good filmmaker if you can not only write your vision and your passion through that, but then be able to produce it through what's on screen as well.
Yeah, 100%.
This film is best enjoyed with friends, by the way.
Yeah, I think watching this by yourself, I think you have a good chuckle, but watching it with friends and seeing reactions.
Yeah, being able to laugh with your friends is a good. Yeah, definitely would recommend watching it with someone.
Yeah,
it could be a good first date movie. Break the tension.
Oh, it actually, bro, it actually would. It's really funny, and I think there's no age limit on it. Like there's a few swear words, and there's a few like you see bottom.
Well, you see
Daniel Radcliffe bottom.
Penis under pants.
Oh yeah, big boners.
He gets a boner.
Big boner.
Big chungus.
I mean, we would have been 16 when this movie came out.
Fuck, you guys are young.
Sorry.
How old were
Well,
you?
I'm sorry,
He would have
Frederick.
been 20 something.
I would have been 23.
Yeah, well, we would have only been in school, but I feel like you could.
Pedophile.
We would have watched it at that age and been fine.
Yeah, we would have understood it. Nothing would have gone over our heads.
No, I think it's definitely like an all ages film where like you could be
13
much.
plus.
Yeah, you could be much older and find it funny, and you could be younger and like still find humor in it.
I think that part of why I think it's so well written is because it can balance like all of these like sort of heady topics with all the humor, and at the same time not making all the subject matters feel like they're, because some films you kind of feel like they're talking down to you sort of thing, like they're like preaching to you.
Yeah.
And this feels like you're just like listening in on a conversation between sort of friends.
Yeah, they were literally just having a yarn, and we were just like sitting there like listening, eavesdropping, like yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Not being like, oh shit. I mean, it did make you think, definitely, but you weren't like, fuck, now I've got to like change my life and fart in front of people.
Yeah.
You just like sort of agreed with them. Yeah. All right, Mr. Director.
Yeah, so it was solid. I mean, it was a good outing for your first film. They obviously had a close bond because I would never want to work with another director. There's a lot of power struggles that could come along with that. So
they're both called Daniel.
They're both called Daniel. Must connect on like an intergalactic scale, so that's good. Something that you shouldn't take too seriously.
Besides a farting corpse, so yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
God, imagine being like a Karen watching this movie and leaving a review. Too much farts.
Yeah. So sit back, get drunk, maybe do some drugs with some mates, and chuck it on. You'll enjoy it a lot more than if you're at your
We
house.
don't condone drugs, but
if you were going to anyway.
if you're sitting down to pop some acid, put this movie on.
Yeah.
Or Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh god,
I
yeah.
hate that.
I love that movie.
I only
mean,
watched it on
it's
acid.
okay,
You like
but
that
it's
movie?
really freaky.
They won the Best Directing Award at Sundance, which is obviously pretty prestigious.
Pretty big.
Well, if not the biggest film festival in the world. So, other than Cannes, yeah. But, I mean, depends what your priorities lie, I guess.
Do we want to talk about any favourite scenes that we had? Any standout moments?
I think my favourite scene was actually all the montages of him learning new powers and shit. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, when he was shooting and flying.
Yeah, and he... I think
shaved his face on his teeth.
Yeah, I think my favourite specific scene is when he put the fucking pole with the rope in his throat, and he just fucking stuck it right down, and he squeezed him, and he shot up. That was amazing.
That was unexpected. You just get to a nice tight shot, and then he deep throats a fucking pole.
It was like those guys who were in the circus, and they put massive swords down their throat because he had to straighten his whole body up, and
What was your favourite scene, Freddie?
I think it's the scene in the bus.
Oh yes.
Yeah, when he's
magical
like,
dreamy scene.
Yeah, and then when he goes to like sit next to her, he's like, "Are you sitting alone? Well, you're a freak."
No, you're not a freak.
Yeah,
Because I'm sitting next to you.
I really like the shot in the cave when they're just lying down and it's raining outside, and the rest of the screen is pretty much dark except for this opening in the cave and the light shining on the two of them lying down, and I just thought that was really pretty. I really like dark shots. Like my favourite shot on Savage was the one that was pretty much pitch black with Ollie sitting there.
I like dark.
But yeah, no, I really like dark and like a lot of blues and stuff, and so that was a really pretty shot. But I think the shot that like made me like giggle was it was part of the montage, and he's explaining life, and he's made this little cardboard car, and like thrusts it forward, and I just noticed like Manny sitting up in the background with a piece of rope, and he pulls him back so it looks like the car's hit him, like in front of the camera.
He just like
the final shot of him off into the ocean again. I thought that was really funny.
jet skiing into the sunset.
Some say he was going to Tom Hanks.
Oh god. No one says that.
That's just you, buddy.
No, but
he's Spalding.
But I thought it was really pretty, and there's a really pretty shot, and it's just after Paul Dano had shaved his face, and he looked really nice. That's all I have to say about that. Just any shot with Paul Dano, it was pretty good.
I liked the underwater scene. It's either that.
Oh yeah, that's
when they had their little romance. That was a really nice shot when the camera pulls away and they sort of just drift. They just drift down, embracing. It was a really, really nice looking shot. And this long trail of cloth sort of comes.
Yeah. Oh, that's really pretty.
It was a really, really pretty looking
wholesome.
shot. Yeah, very wholesome. It's like, oh, these guys are like
homies that kiss.
They go, fuck. Yeah. I also liked Peak.
Jesus Christ.
Another scene that stood out to me was it was a bit of more of a similar one. It was after when they got drunk and they had that party with everybody and all the fake friends made of wood and stuff. That was really cool because it looked like a proper like a club or a proper party with the depth, because all the shots were quite tight and compressed, so you can just see you can see Hank or Manny through all these fake people going and dancing and flying their arms around. It was so funny. The lighting was really cool too, like the light of the fire.
Yeah.
That was the only light as such, which was really cool.
The whole thing
illuminated their face.
I was gonna say the whole thing, like, I know that there was a gaffer, as IMBD have told me, but it did all look like mainly natural lighting, and I feel like they maybe just like had one or two and then just polyed it.
Well, they spent $3 million on the film though.
Yeah.
Probably most of it would have gone towards acting wages since they're pretty big actors.
Yeah.
So.
Would anyone like some trivia?
Sure.
Yeah. So
go on, give us some trivia.
Okie dokie. So Jurassic Park is referenced like all throughout it. That's the first song they sing together. It's very sweet.
Was it their favourite movie?
It was his favourite movie.
Yeah.
No, Daniel's.
Oh.
Was it the director's favourite movie?
Might have been.
Could be a metaphor.
I haven't read that trivia just yet.
Sorry.
Can I please fucking finish? So Jurassic Park is referenced heaps throughout the film, and Timothy, I think his name is Ulrich, who played the husband at the very end.
Yeah.
So he actually appeared in Jurassic World in 2015, as well as he is also one of the stunt people, and mainly is Paul Dano's stunty.
Okay.
So he's got multiple roles
like a little
there.
cameo. That's quite cool.
So you save money.
And both Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe have previously played the love interest of Paul Dano's wife in films. So I thought it's quite funny. One of the shadow puppet movie scenes that Hank shows Manny is a character on a broomstick, likely alluding to Daniel Radcliffe's most notable film,
I didn't even think of
Harry
that.
Potter.
Oh, see, I was trying to keep up with those. They move so quickly. I saw E.T., I saw Jurassic Park. Superman.
Yeah, Superman, yeah.
That was one.
Oh,
Titanic.
Titanic, yeah. Oh, I didn't catch Harry Potter. I was thinking to myself at the start of the film, are they gonna like make some Harry Potter reference?
I was like, I really hope they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought if whether it was dialogue or an Easter egg, but obviously that was the Easter egg. I missed that one. That's cool.
Members of the cast and crew all contributed to Manny's farts, including Paul Dano. Daniel Radcliffe claims to not have contributed a fart. Which I think is really funny. Yeah, and due to it at time juvenile humour, particularly fart jokes, many audience members walked out at Sundance, which I think is just kind of shitty.
Yeah, I read about that when it came out. Like they walked out in like the first 15 minutes because they were like, "Oh, this is gross, this is disgusting."
But it's like,
and then
you kind of, I just feel like you can't judge a film off that. You have to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, farts happen.
It's natural.
It's exactly what they're talking about in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Farts are natural. Don't hide them.
And Paul Dano's character, Hank Thompson, is definitely a reference to Tom Hanks, who starred in Castaway, which is a similar themed film. Paul Dano revealed in an interview he wanted to be in the movie after hearing a one-sentence synopsis from the directors, which is what Frederick said at the start. First fart makes you laugh, last fart makes you cry. And Daniel Radcliffe promoted the movie by touring LA and New York with the Manny doll and taking it on roller coasters with him and attending fan conventions and interviews.
That's a fucking dummy. I love
That's
that.
so
Hell
funny.
yeah.
And last but not least, a fake version of Manny was made, as we know, but Daniel Radcliffe insisted on being in every shot. The dummy was only used for a few shots where the stunts were far too dangerous for him, but he would still be the one to throw or toss the doll.
Wow. GG.
Anyway, does anyone want to go first for ratings?
I really enjoyed the film. I think it was great entertainment, and honestly, if you're gonna watch it with friends. It would be fine watching it by yourself, but you definitely get a good chuckle and you can laugh with people when you watch it with others. So I therefore give this a solid 8 big boners out of 10.
I was going to say, if you don't have any friends, then just find a doll or a corpse.
Yeah, get a dead person.
I was highly entertained. I definitely think I'll watch that again. It's fucking funny. And yeah, someone said it before, it'd be like a good like first date movie, or even just like hang out with your mates. It's something funny to put on, even on a really nice day. And when you're stuck inside.
It a nice day?
It was a nice day.
It is a really nice day.
We've been
actually.
inside all day recording, but it seemed like a very nice day. It was sunny. I contemplated wearing shorts, but then I realised we'd be indoors.
Yeah.
I love it, and I think those were some really strong performances from both of them. I thought it was really well written. Cinematography was just great, and I think for a first film for these guys, I think that it really blew me away.
Hats off to them.
Yeah. So I will be giving it a 8 underwater kisses out of 10.
Oh. Shaden?
No, you go.
No, you go.
No, you go.
Oh yeah, so I chose this film for us to watch it because this is one of my like favorite films. Because the first time I saw it, I really had no idea what to expect, and I ended up, and I think I was kind of like dragged to see it, because I was like, I don't really know, I don't know if I want to go see this one. And then we saw it, and I absolutely loved it, and I watched it plenty of times since, and it like never, like it's always just as funny every time I see it, and it's always as endearing, and I'm always just like as blown away by the performances.
Thank you for introducing it to us.
Yeah.
For sure. This is one of my favorites, and this is a film like I recommend this movie to everyone, and I think everyone should see it. 9 close-ups of Daniel Radcliffe's hairy bum out of 10.
Hairy British bomb.
Hairy bum.
I liked it. Yeah, that's alright. I mean, I think
Shaden doesn't like things that bring
I don't like
joy.
things that bring anyone joy. It makes me sad. Because I can't.
But you hated
Can't do the
Newton,
same.
That brought nobody joy.
Yeah.
But that's just a shit movie, objectively, so it's fine. It was enjoyable. Like I said, I don't really love comedies as much as I used to. I'm going to give it a 7 cock compasses out of 10.
Nice work.
There's a nice sigh at the end. Yeah, you can't be
I'm gonna
talking
trademark.
into it and then
I'm going to
walk away.
trademark my sigh.
No.
So yeah, thank you for listening, guys. We will catch you guys in the next one.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
Are we not doing the outro?
We're gonna do the
You
outro.
just skipped the whole outro.
Oh yeah. So thank you everyone so much for listening.
If you guys have any films that you'd like to recommend for us, new, old, flick us a DM on Instagram or leave a YouTube comment. We'll keep an eye on those and consider them.
You can find us on Instagram at the Filmocity Podcast and on Twitter at Filmocity Pod, as well as keep in touch with us on anywhere you can find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
And as always, we upload every Thursday at 7 p.m. New Zealand time, so make sure you keep up to date with us to see when our new episodes are dropping. And yeah, I think that's about it. So from everyone at the Filmocity Podcast, thank you for watching.
Cheers. See you later. Thank you for listening.
Wedgies are the most comfortable thing ever.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna lay those over so she says shut the fuck up as you go.